Morning guys, final day of Camaro Fest, getting a little bit of a late start. Everybody's exhausted and still not getting great sleep, but I had a good breakfast this morning. Big storm last night, I could hear it. It woke me up 2 or 3 times while we were sleeping. We're on the 3rd floor of the Marriott, and it was bad. Big lightning, just really hard rain. So we're heading out, gonna go have some fun, meet some people, watch some racing, and do our thing. So we'll check in with you soon. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the last day of Camaro Fest 2026. It seems the Camaro gods have blessed us for today, which is absolutely amazing because yesterday it was supposed to rain at least half of the day. It did not. It was beautiful all during the day. We had a terrible storm at night again, but I don't think it caused any damage. And then today, it was supposed to be raining by now. They said by noon it was going to be thunder and lightning. It's almost 1 and we're looking pretty good. Now it's saying maybe 2 or 3. So anyway, the weather's been great. The traction here, like the amount of people that have showed up and we've been able to spend time with has been fantastic. We brought a decent amount of inventory and we're literally sold out of almost everything. So aside from the stuff that's on the table, we've been doing pretty good. It's been a great show for us. Super excited to be here. Sounds like there's a couple other shows here nearby that we might try to hit next year. But anyway, I'm excited. We're burnt, we're tired, but this has been great so far. And I think it's time to cue to the drone footage. Well, like they say, all good things must come to an end, and even Camaro Fest 2026 must end. This has been one hell of a trip. Today we got absolutely so lucky today. It rained really, really bad last night, like torrential downpour, thunder, lightning, and then it rained the whole drive-in this morning, and it looked like for a minute that there was going to be no racing today. It was just going to be terrible, and as we were hoping for, the clouds parted and the sun shined, and although it's disgustingly hot here, there has not been a drop of rain. They've been racing since noon, like 3 solid hours, and I think they're keeping the track open until 7 tonight. So everybody's been pretty good spirits aside from just being super hot. So you caught me taking a break. We're packing up the booth and everything now. It's just a lot of work. Luckily, we sold a ton of product, so there's not as much to pack up as it was that we brought here. But man, this has been a great experience. We met so many cool people, whether they had a 6th gen or a 5th gen or an F body. this has just been a blast. I'm so happy that we got to come out and meet everybody. And I don't know if we'll be able to make it next year, but I know that if we do, we're going to do a couple of things different just to make this a more comfortable experience. And I think we need a much bigger footprint. Like we had a 10 by 20 with 4 tables, and it just wasn't enough space. I think if we come do it again, we're going to need at least double the footprint to really show off, more of what we bring to the table, and more of our own product, and more of the products that we like to provide. So I think that's it. I know we've got a bunch more footage to share, and we've got more. I think we're going to do more rollers this afternoon, going through the Kentucky cornfields. A couple more things to share when we're done here, but basically this is finished. All right, just when I was about to do the proverbial mic drop, I realized that I have some people that I really need to thank because there's no way I could have done this by myself, not even a fraction of it. And I really, really benefited from the support and the assistance from a lot of people. So in no specific order, I need to thank my wife, Susie, for putting up with me abandoning her basically the entire week before, leading up to us leaving and departing for Camaro Fest. It was like 16-hour days every day up until midnight, preparing, and she's cooking all the meals and bringing me snacks and keeping me hydrated and all the moral and emotional support you need to prepare for an event like this. I need to thank my son, Matthew, for allowing me to drag him onto this trip because he really didn't have a choice. For all of the days, and then 16-hour days here, unloading and loading and working the booth and setting up and breaking down over and over again in the heat. And although he whines and complains a little bit, I am super blessed and grateful to have him here. So thank you, Matthew, for putting up with me and tagging along for the trip. I want to thank my buddy Scott off the Camaro 6 forum. He was super generous and supportive on this trip, and he ended up booking us a hotel room months and months in advance. That was very, very helpful, not just financially, but for planning. So thank you, Scott. Oh, and you let me borrow the Granatelli coil packs. And thank you again for the dinner at Toro. Dude, you are the man. Your car is amazing, and I'm really grateful to have you as a friend. Thank you to Blaine from Ride Tech for bringing over the coilovers and giving us a chance to display them at Camaro Fest. They were a hit. There was at least 30 or 40 people that were interested in them and had tons of questions. And without having them on the table, I wouldn't have been able to do a good job, I think, in promoting them. So thank you for making the drive over here. Last but not least, I need to thank my videographer and social media guy, Kai. He's been so patient and supportive through this process. And I don't remember whose idea it was for him to come along on the trip. I think when we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, he was excited in the fact that I'm doing it. And he was giving me some ideas that like Matthew and I could be doing on the trip, and you should record this and, bring your drone and try to get this footage. And then, you could be sending it to me and I could be editing it. And it just, all the things he was asking me to do, I was just like, dude, you just need to come with us. And I, he moved some stuff around on his schedule. Ultimately, we took up like over a week of his time, and it's just been, this trip it wouldn't have been half as successful without his help here. I think we really needed a third man, like the majority of the time anyway. I think Matthew and I just would have really struggled physically setting up, breaking down. There's so many things where a third man just makes things faster, safer, easier. But to bring the talent, he's out here doing, video shoots and supporting all these other cars. And I think none of the media that we got from this trip would have been possible without Kai. So I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. Also for Kai, I need to thank him for allowing us to make fun of him, and like he's been the butt of a lot of jokes, and he takes that very well. Whether that's highlighting that he's not tall enough to close the hood on my truck, or allowing us to share the funny moment when he wants to vomit eating a quail egg and whatever other funny stuff we captured. I don't even remember, but he's a class act. Thank you, Christian. neighbor friend who really helped hold down the fort when we were gone. I mean, we filled like 40, 50 orders just this week alone. And that's like a lot of packing and labels. And, you know, we're on the road trip and Matt and I both have our computers out, and it's just a little bit of work to get some of our orders out. They're not always prepackaged and ready to go. It takes a little bit of, you know, pulling stuff from a box and a drawer and assembly and then pack and ship. And so really, Griffin Motorsports would have come to a standstill without Christian's help, and he was super flexible. So thank you, buddy. Cannot thank you enough. And then I guess last but not least is Josh from OSS. Thank you for the support and the opportunity to sponsor and be the official cooling sponsor of Camaro Fest 2026. I know he's had so much on his plate, and you know, playing an event like this, I can't even imagine. He's got so many moving parts and pieces, and he's got so many people that are nervous about the weather, like myself, and probably calling him way too much. And the guy always answers the phone. He always answers the text message. He's never, you know, he never makes you feel like you're bugging him, even though you know you're bugging him. And I think that's a testament to the types of events that he's used to producing and managing and orchestrating. And this thing has it's gone perfectly. He was the most optimistic person about the weather, and I was probably the most pessimistic. And he kept just saying, you know, we don't plan for the weather, just show up and figure it out. And everybody showed up and figured it out, and it's been perfect. Like blue skies for 2 days straight, aside from the storms at night. So Josh, thank you so much for the opportunity. You've been a great event planner for this, and I can only imagine that a couple more years of, you know, you putting your magic touch on this is going to just get bigger and bigger and better. And we're happy to see how it evolves and to tag along for the ride. So thank you again, Josh. I think this is time to sign out. I think it's time for Kai to do his keyboard magic and cue B-roll and drone footage and slow-mo of burnouts and all that good stuff. So that's it.